Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. This one is all about your January forecast. So, we're going to see what's going on in the month of January for you, everything that's going to be happening in your life, all the messages you need to know about January. We're going to get into all of it. And today we have a selection of crystals for you to choose from. Also, if you like how I read tarot and you want to access more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon to check out the 75 exclusive readings you'll get access to as soon as you sign up. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. They get posted over there first. So if that sounds good to you, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. So if you are new to this channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. And basically, you're going to see which of these crystals is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then as soon as you made up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description and jump right into your pile. I also want to mention that I do private readings. So if you need some specific guidance about your particular situation, then you can head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and book a session with me. And the link for that is in my description. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Now, if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one, welcome to your reading. So for your cards, you guys got the Hanged Man, Death, the Four of Swords, Judgment, and the Two of Swords. So it feels like as you're entering into January, you guys are majorly rethinking a lot of things in your life. This is a time of some meditation, and I feel like you guys are going to be taking a step back, possibly even sleeping a lot, or just kind of thinking a lot about your life, about the path you're on, and some of you guys are going to be making a major pivot. So it feels like January, there's a pause energy happening, but it's also the energy of seeing where you want to go next, possibly letting go of old identities, old timelines. I'm hearing some of you guys are fed up with something. There's something in your life, I'm not sure what. It could be with a person, a job, any situation whatsoever, even your own actions. You could be fed up with like decisions you've made or habits you've had, and you're ready to leave that in the past. And I think that January is going to be a time of a lot of meditation, thinking about where you want to be headed and where your current energy is aligning you with, and seeing whether those things are compatible. So I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are getting a lot of sleep in the month of January. We did get the Four of Swords and the Hanged Man. So there's a major step back energy happening, and you might sleep more or just feel the need to take a break. For some of you guys, you might even take some time off work if that's possible, or have a vacation. If that's not possible, maybe you'll just be making sure you clock out, exactly when your shift ends, and you're fully using your weekend. You might not have like a ton of things you want to schedule on your weekends, and you're using that time to really like regenerate your energy. I could see this being a month when you guys spend time indoors, which makes sense, I guess, because it's January, and kind of like watching movies, laying around, relaxing, not out and about and like accomplishing all this stuff and like running a marathon. Doesn't feel like that kind of energy. It feels like there's a need to be quiet, and it feels like there's a need to kind of pause and kind of recollect your energy, get your energy back. If you guys have been feeling really burnt out, or December was a really busy month, feels like there's a need to pivot from that. And I am feeling like a lot of you guys are going to be thinking deeply about certain relationships, and you're ready to let go of some of those. So maybe there was something that happened over the Christmas break, or something that happened over the holidays. Maybe you were like meeting up with family and you were just like, you know what? I can't deal with this anymore. Like, this aunt who's super critical of me, I just don't want her in my life anymore. Or maybe you realize, oh my gosh, I had the best time with my family. It was so great visiting them. I need to make more time out of that. But honestly, it feels like for a lot of you guys, you're kind of wanting to subtract. You're wanting to get rid of something or someone. There's an energy that you feel is no longer serving you in your life, and you are ready to kind of put an end to it. So I feel like in January, there's going to be a really deep, there's a transformative energy around you. We got the death card that can talk about regeneration, rebirth. It's generally speaking a major ending and a shift in someone's personality or in their identity. And also the judgment card talks about that, being reborn as someone new. So I feel like some of you guys, you are fed up with something, and it may be yourself. It may be like, I'm so sick and tired of not feeling confident in my body, and I am going to like do XYZ different with my fitness or my dietary regimen. Or maybe it's like, I'm so sick of my financial situation. I'm so sick of not having all the money I want. I am going to figure out how I can earn more. But honestly, I feel like you're kind of using this month to like plan things out and to pivot. And so don't rush this process, because when you're in the Hanged Man energy, it's a very spiritual, very potent energy. It's also a great energy for creating art. A lot of artists feel deeply connected to the Hanged Man card. So if you're like wanting to write, wanting to create something, paint, cook, anything artistic in nature, this would be a great month for that as well. And I always think winter is such a great time for art, because like you are holed up inside, and whenever we're kind of a little bored, our mind, tends to like run away and our thoughts kind of race. So maybe we're more creative, maybe we have more ideas, and we have no pressure to like go outside and be in the sunshine. So it's a great time to kind of pause and maybe do those creative projects we've been putting off. So if you are feeling really creatively inspired, if you're getting downloads, you may be having very vivid dreams or getting a lot of downloads in your sleep at this time with the Four of Swords, then this is going to be a great month for you to use that. Let me get into your oracle cards. I haven't seen any of these. So we got life purpose, trust, blessings, and manifestation. So yeah, I feel like it's almost like I'm hearing in my head, I got off track. And I'm not saying you guys are completely like off your path or something awful is happening, but I think sometimes maybe we have a goal in mind, maybe we have something we want to accomplish, and then it can be easy to lose sight of that just in the day-to-day life with all our obligations and just being caught up with like work and paying bills and seeing friends. And we can sometimes lose sight of our long-term goals. And this is why a period of the Hanged Man can be so helpful, is because it can kind of take us out of our daily routine and be a little bit of a pause energy. The Hanged Man is ruled by Neptune. So it is that energy of kind of like taking a step back and collecting ourselves. The Neptune rules or relates to the 12th house. The 12th house is the house of prisons, monasteries, convents, and kind of like those silent, quiet spaces. So it may be a great time for you to spend in a place like that, a place that is quiet, a place that is restful, even going to like a yoga retreat. And actually the Hanged Man has a connection to yoga because he's upside down, and that kind of practice in yoga of having your body in a different and new position that it would never usually go into, the spiritual quality of that is one thing the Hangman talks about, and how actually we can really discover parts of ourselves when we're willing to like go outside our normal bounds, when we're willing to even do something as simple as doing a handstand and turning on your head can give you a different perspective of the world and to give you different insights. So you're going to be very spiritual at this time, and you may be getting downloads on how to achieve your manifestations. Maybe some of these things are things you thought, that can never happen, or like, yeah, I used to dream about that, but now I'm an adult and I don't really have time for that. And now you get a download in the month of January and you're like, oh my gosh, I actually could open that business. I actually could start that YouTube channel. I actually could maybe become a painter and sell my work. And maybe I should actually give it a shot. And you may get that beautiful divine download that kind of is that Neptune energy of like, oh my gosh, a creative idea that comes out of nowhere and is so brilliant and comes directly from spirit. So you definitely should be paying attention to the downloads you get, possibly keeping a dream journal or something like that, because again, I almost feel like whatever you're letting go of this month, it actually is a blessing. It actually is something bringing something new into you, even though it may feel like a loss. It may feel like you're having to let go and you're taking an L, but actually it's kind of creating some space in your life for spirit to fill with something a lot better. So I actually think on the other side of this, you're going to be a lot happier, and there's just an energy of trusting the process. So I don't know, for some of you guys, this could be an ending to a relationship of some kind. And if it is just for, and I'm not necessarily romantic, although it could be that, but it could be, a friend that you kind of fall out with, or a family member that you just decide you don't really want to talk to them so much. Um, or just again, another ending, maybe like leaving your job or deciding that you want to move. But it feels like something you've kind of been putting off for a really long time. And I'm hearing that it's been nagging at you, or there's kind of something that's been on the border of your consciousness that you've been like, yeah, I should probably address that. And like you haven't wanted to. And I feel like by the time January comes to a close, you're going to have fully been like, yep, you know what? I need to do something with that. So there's some major decision I feel like you guys are making. And for some of you guys, this is deciding to make a move. It's almost like an energy of giving up, to be honest. And not in a bad way, though. It feels like this is something that you need to give up on, and you've been kind of like holding so tight on it, and you have been like not wanting to be kind of admitting that it's over. And now I feel like you're just releasing, you're letting go of something that it feels like has been dead for a really long time, which is perfect for January, to be honest, because like, all the leaves die in like the fall, but they still stay on the tree, right? They still stay on. They're just like red and brown, and they're still clinging on, but by January, they're all fully off. And I feel like, that's not a bad thing. That's part of the process of them reemerging as bright and green and beautiful and in bloom that happens in spring. So just like winter is that season where maybe it seems a little barren, but it's part of the process to actually bring in new growth. That's what's happening in your life as well. So I think Spirit is really calling on you to trust this process in January and be willing to really release, be willing to really ask yourself those tough questions. Because I do feel like some of you guys, it's funny because this is Neptune energy again, but you almost have that Neptune ability to look on the bright side and be positive and see the good in it, which is a great thing. But sometimes you got to call a spade and be kind of Plutonian, which we have with the death card, some Scorpio energy of, being a little bit harsher and calling it what it is, and not being like optimistic and being like, oh, it's going to be awesome, but being like, no, it actually isn't going to be so great. So let me pivot, let me adjust, let me get out ahead of it, whatever it is, and figure out what I can do in this situation. Let's get some more cards for pile one. So we got the World, the Magician and the Mirror, Angel of Love, and Angel of Strength. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys, you're going a lot deeper into yourself this month. And some of the things you guys have wanted, or some of the things that you guys have maybe even like told yourselves, like, I almost feel like this is also a thinking about what you deserve. For some of you guys, maybe you tolerated things that you really shouldn't have when it came to love, when it came to relationships. And I think you're doing a lot of realizing of like your own self-worth, realizing that you don't have to put up with certain things, realizing that you're a lot more powerful than you thought. So in January, I feel like you're ready to release whatever job, whatever relationship, whatever thing you've been putting up with. You've been kind of like gritting your teeth and trying to be positive about and trying to, put a smile on. Now you're like, yep, this is not working and I got to let go of it. And there is a sense of sadness with some of that. I think you guys, you know, it's not exactly how you may have pictured some of this ending. It could be the ending of a romantic relationship or whatever. But there's a sense of kind of admitting defeat a little bit, which I think feels really unpleasant for you. And there's a sense of kind of having to like take a loss about something. But I think that on the other side of this, you realize how strong you are. And it's almost like you develop a better relationship with yourself because I think some of the, or maybe the worst thing about lying to ourselves is the fact that we kind of lose trust in ourselves, right? We tend to, whenever we're telling ourselves, like, no, I think that person really likes you, and no, they don't have any bad intentions. And yeah, I mean, they left me out of the holiday party and they got gifts for everyone else except me, but they didn't mean to at that job. My boss really does like me. And they totally didn't mean to, kind of single me out in the middle of the meeting. It's almost like a self betrayal, and we end up really not trusting ourselves. And that can be what is so amazing about being willing to step up and being willing to call situations out. So I think that's one thing you guys are really learning to do in January is like get rid of the old and have trust and faith in the universe that the universe will bring you something new to replace that. For some of you guys, we got the world card, so there can be an energy of traveling or planning a trip. When it comes to January, you may be thinking about places you want to go, or even just taking a short road trip, even like a beautiful hike or going somewhere in nature. And having some solitude is a major key for you guys. So even somewhere that is away from the crowds or gives you some like time to kind of decompress, relax, will be really key. I could also see you guys getting into or deepening your meditation or yoga practice this month, as well as maybe coming up with a fitness routine or a exercise routine that allows you to have some spiritual access. So not just one that's purely about like body, exercise, but one that also has a spiritual component or a time for you to pause and listen to yourself. So you guys are really working on becoming the best possible version of yourself this month. And I do feel like it's a time for a lot of releasing. I do feel like it's a time for a lot of processing. And if there is any sense of bitterness, sadness, or regret coming through in January, I think you're going to be using this time to plan out the rest of the year. And also maybe reminding yourself that just because maybe this is some sadness about not accomplishing certain goals that you had this month or this year, why can't I talk? In 2023, maybe you felt like you didn't accomplish certain goals. Maybe you had certain things in your mind for the year of 2023, and you're kind of like, so I didn't do that. I didn't do that, whatever. And like, this is your brand new fresh start, right? It's the beginning of the year. You have a completely clean slate. So there's no need to get upset or sad about the things that didn't happen. And instead, keep your eyes on the prize of what you want to bring in, what you want to manifest, all the beautiful things that are possibilities for the future, and saying goodbye to the old, realizing how powerful you are to create whatever kind of reality you want. I think you guys are going to be doing that. So there's also a strong energy of planning for the rest of the year. So maybe sketching out some goals, maybe making a list of things you want to manifest or things you want to bring in. All of those are things I can definitely see happening for you in January. Pile number one. Let's get these cards. So we also got Golden Palace and Stormfield. I am feeling like some of you guys might be redecorating your home or your apartments. Wherever you live, you may be deciding that you want to redo it. You may be discovering like a new style or just feeling like you're ready. I mean, this is such an energy of releasing the old, getting rid of an old self. We did get the Judgment card, which is all about regeneration and being reborn and coming back from the dead. So it's all about assuming a new identity, stepping into a new version of ourselves. And the Hangman has that kind of in common with the Fool. It's really about stepping away from the crowd, not doing what the crowd wants, but instead listening to your own inner intuition. And again, that's what I was saying, where sometimes when you like don't listen to your intuition, the worst betrayal is not what someone else did to you, but it's the fact that you did that to yourself. It's the fact that you didn't listen to what you knew the whole time inside. And so I think that there's going to be a sense of relief as you decide to step away from like the status quo, from the people around you. Maybe they have one idea of how your life is supposed to look or what you're supposed to be doing. And a lot of you guys are like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. I want to become this version, or I want to go after this, or I don't like that way I used to dress. Yeah, I used to dress that way, but I don't want to wear that anymore, or I don't want to decorate my house this way, or I don't want to work at this job. Whatever it is, I think you definitely need to listen because it is very valuable and very deep and spiritual. These messages that you are getting, these kind of directions from spirit about where you should head are definitely things you should listen to for sure, 100%. That is totally from spirit, and it's totally things that you should pay attention to. But with storm fields, it may not be easy. I do feel like for some of you guys, there's almost that energy of maybe even some, I don't want to say depression, but like seasonal depression or just feeling a little down in the dumps. And if you do live in a place that's really cold and gray at this time, you might make it a habit to like go on a daily walk or go do some exercise. Or if you can't walk outside, go hit the gym so you can get some endorphins going. Or taking spiritual baths to cleanse out old energy. But I feel like you are going to be in an energy of kind of purging a lot this month, getting rid of stuff. And that can always be a painful process. And especially if you're putting boundaries up with certain people or choosing to lessen their access to your life, some people may not really be happy about that. So there is the potential for fights and arguments as well. But I do think you're very divinely protected. And when we start on our own path and we start making our own decisions for ourselves, that is such a powerful moment, pile one. So if you're at that stage in your life, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Let me get into some astrology dice for pile number one. So we got Saturn, the first house, aka Aries, and then we also got Virgo. So we have Virgo, Aries, Capricorn represented. And those are all some tough energies. None of them are super fun, to be honest. We are not getting any Libra, any Pisces, any Taurus, any Leo, like nothing kind of glamorous or exciting happening. It's maybe Aries. Aries has some glamour, and of course, Capricorn and Virgo can as well, but they're kind of like heavier energies, you know what I mean? And so, like I said, this is a month, I think, of processing. This is a month of looking deeply inside yourself and seeing where you want to head in the future, seeing where you're at now, and seeing how you can pivot to have the kind of life you want and what you can kind of remove and prune and get rid of to bring in that life. Virgo is great at that. Virgo is the perfectionist and really sees things with such detail. That's why Virgos make excellent editors, surgeons, etc. They really look at a situation pretty harshly and sharply, and they can really not be overly optimistic. And same with Capricorn, they can be kind of harsh in that way. Virgo opposes Pisces on the astrological wheel. They're not going to see things with that like optimism that Pisces has. And I feel like for you guys, you're doing that in your life. But again, it feels like a really good thing. It feels like it's positive. And yeah, Capricorn opposes Cancer. So they're both kind of opposing the warm, fuzzy water signs and kind of taking a harsher look at things. And then Aries opposes Libra. So yeah, all the happy, like relaxed signs, you have the opposite of that. And I feel like for you guys, this is really about, giving yourself that harsh look that we need to have. We need to look sometimes deep into a situation and be willing to be honest with ourselves and to be willing to confront it. Because only through confronting it and being like, yeah, this is what the situation is, can we actually improve it and genuinely move it to a better place. We don't want to be that overly optimistic, delusional person that stays in the same energy. So if you're kind of stressed because you're like, yeah, this month does not sound fun and I don't want to have to get rid of all this stuff and I don't want to have to redo my life, like this sucks. No, this is actually a huge part of the process. It's a beautiful part of the process. And it's perfect it's happening for you in January because you're very in tune with the seasons, which is a good sign. It's like you don't panic and freak out and think the world is ending when the leaves die on the trees and fall. You don't think, oh my God, the tree is turning red. That means the world is over. You just know that like that's part of autumn and then the trees are going to die and it's going to be really barren. and that's going to last for a while. But then that is the precursor to the beauty of spring, and that's what you can look forward to. So, in a way, you should be more excited in winter because you're like, oh, I know it's coming. I can't wait to get the warm weather back, but like, I get to kind of like plan and prepare and know that so many blessings are heading my way. So, just a little pep talk in case you are kind of wanting to fast forward through this process. And I love that we got Aries, the first house specifically, because that's all about thinking about what's best for you, not what's best for the collective or what other people want from us, but what do you want? Asking yourself that question. And I think that's the beautiful thing about where you're at in January, pile one. You're asking yourself where you want to head, what you want to do, and you're not as much giving so much thought to what everyone else has to say about it. You're really paying attention to what you want, what's working for you, and other people can like it or not, but you're going to do your thing for you. So I honestly think this is a really positive month. It's a really positive trajectory that you're on, and it's only going to get better and better as you move through the energy of the Hanged Man and the Judgment card and come into more of a settled celebratory energy. So that is what I have for you, pile one. I really hope it resonates. If it does, let me know down in the comments. I always love hearing from you. And make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe, all that jazz. And if you want to see more of my content, then head to my Patreon. I just posted a reading about their late night thoughts about you. And before that, I posted one about what kind of spiritual progress you've made. And I actually just posted another one like the other day, but I can't even remember. Oh, yes. What does God want you to focus on? But there's so much content over on Patreon, over 70 different readings about all kinds of topics, and new ones go up all the time. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos, so you will be the first to watch them over there. If all that sounds good to you and you want to join us, head to my Patreon, and the link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. And if you would like to get a private one-on-one session with me, you can go to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a private reading with me. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm sending you all my love and light, and I'll be back again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile two, welcome to your reading. So for your cards, you guys got the Emperor, Eight of Swords, King of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, and the King of Cups. So this is an exciting month for you guys. You have a lot of powerful cards coming through, and also it seems like you're going to be making a lot of decisions and being a little torn. But let's start with all these powerful cards. You got the Emperor, the King of Pentacles, the King of Cups. So either you are stepping into a really powerful position, or you may be getting access to people who have a lot of power, specifically probably men, since that's usually what the kings represent, and the emperor. However, it could be a very powerful woman as well, especially if she's in more of a masculine energy. But this could be you stepping into and discovering your power, like I said. So we'll read for both of those scenarios. So if it's you that are stepping into your power, you may feel like you have really found your groove, especially when it comes to like career, is what I'm hearing. So if you are working in a certain field and you felt like you were struggling, or you felt like you didn't quite know what you were doing, or there was a part of you that was like, like maybe I'm messing this up, or I'm saying the wrong thing, or I'm doing it wrong. And maybe there was a part of you that didn't fully feel confident in whatever this is. That is going to be changing. And a lot of you guys are going to be fully stepping into your power. You are going to come out of this fully knowing that you're doing a great job. And it's almost like all the doubts or indecisions or all the questions you had in the past about, am I good at this? Maybe you even had imposter syndrome and you would wonder if you weren't actually deserving of your position or whatever the case is. And I feel like now it's like you have reached a level of mastery. You're starting to really get into your groove and find your confidence. And other people are noticing it as well too. So other people may turn to you for advice, or you may just feel like you're getting a lot more attention than you've gotten, a lot more traction. And I just feel like there's a level of calm and peace that has come in your new alignment that you're in your new attitude and energy that you have for this. So you may be earning more money, even getting a raise or a bonus, or just having a lot more abundance around you financially, and kind of like knowing what you're doing to a level that you really didn't before. We also could see this being someone coming into your life, and it could even be multiple people who want to date you, multiple partners, or people who would like to be your partner, I guess I should say. So you may have a lot of admirers this month, and they may be financially powerful, or it could be people who want to mentor you, people who want to help you in some way. But you're definitely catching people's eyes this month. That is for sure. That's the one thing all this group has in common is like, I feel like you're getting more attention. People are noticing you. And I also feel like you've really found your voice. It's like you're getting more confident in the month of January. And as we enter into the month of January, I feel like you're already starting to feel that. You're already starting to not second guess yourself, not worry so much about how others perceive you. You may even find that, like, if in the past you were at a restaurant and, they got your order wrong or something, and you would have been like, oh, hi, I'm really sorry. Yeah, well, is there any way I could maybe get, and now you're going to be like, hi, excuse me, you got my order wrong. Could you replace that? And you're just much more confident with the things you ask for. You know how to speak up for yourself. You know how to advocate for yourself on a much deeper level. And I feel like people can sense this shift in your energy, and they are kind of like listening to you and deferring to you a lot more than they did in the past. I'm also hearing some of you guys are going to be making major decisions about where you want to live. So maybe in the month of January, you're going to be thinking strongly about what kind of housing situation you want to have, whether you want to rent or buy, or where you want to live, or how you want to decorate your house, or living situation, whatever it is, whether you want roommates, whether you want to be alone. All those questions, I feel like those are things that are going to be coming up for you. And even though you may not have a clear-cut answer in the month of January, because we do have the Eight of Swords, and that can talk about a little bit of a level of confusion or not fully seeing all the options clearly, I feel like the good thing is you're getting an idea of what you want. And that's what Spirit wants me to deliver as a message for you for the month of January is like, it's okay if you don't know all the answers. It's okay if you don't have all the solutions to your problem. This doesn't even just have to do with living situation, but in general, if there is a question that is like on your mind, niggling away in the back of your mind, and you are struggling over how to proceed with it, you don't necessarily have to know all the outcomes, all the answers, but you should get an idea of what you want, generally speaking. You have to know some idea of what you want. And I feel like that's what you're doing. It's reminding me when I lived in like Portland, they have these amazing mixologists, and they're like kind of bartenders, but a step up, and they will actually mix you an original drink. So it'll be, the first and only version of that drink, and they'll make it tailored to your taste. And those are kind of common, typical like Portland stereotype, right? They have a lot of them in Portland. But it's a really cool experience when you go in, because they'll ask you, do you like sweet? Do you like sour? What kind of level of sweet? And then do you like spicy? What about floral notes? And the more you answer, the more they'll like pivot, the more you're like, oh, I do like sweet, don't really like sour, don't like spicy. Then they might say like, oh, okay. And that's when they'll ask, do you like a flowery thing? And if you like that, it's like, okay, do you like green herbal elements like rosemary? And the more you give them advice or tell them what you want, the more specific they can make it. And I had probably the best drinks of my life in those situations. And the thing is if you were to go in and you were just be like, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Just whatever. They'll just give you like a beer or something, they just give you whatever they have and whatever basic drink that a million other people have drank, and it's probably well liked, so you have to be specific. And the funny thing is that you might feel bad being like, I like sweet, or like, oh no, I hate that, I really like spicy, and no, don't put that in. You might feel like a bit of a jerk, or like, oh, I'm being demanding, but that's what they like. They really, hate it when you come in and you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure. And just like that with manifesting or figuring out what we want from Spirit, we really have to be direct, and we have to at least know what kind of a situation we want, what our major deal breakers are. So if we're back to this thing of you guys moving, we have to know, like, how important is quiet to me? Some people don't really mind a lot of noise and they're happy if they get a deduction in rent. And if it's a little noisy, that's okay. I can deal with that. And some people are super noise sensitive and they're willing to pay way extra to ensure that they can't hear a pin drop, you know? So whatever your situation is, whatever is important to you, you want to know your deal breakers, your boundaries, the things that you really like, the things that you care about, the things that it doesn't matter as much. And I feel like you guys are really doing that in the month of January. So just a little, I guess, pep talk on how to get through some of this confusion energy that you may be feeling in the month of January. And also, they want you to give me a message that you're doing really good. So whatever you're already doing, you're doing fantastic. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Okay, so don't be stressing yourself out and don't be feeling like you are a failure. Look at you. You got the Emperor, the King of Pentacles, the King of Cups. You're doing really good. So trust yourself. You've gotten this far and don't freak out about, maybe things that could be a little different or slightly more perfect. They're already really good. So give yourself a little bit of a pat on the back for that. Let's get into some more cards for pile number two, excuse me. Pile number two, well-being, good luck, inspiration, and peace. Okay, so you may be focusing on your well-being. It may be a time for you to really pay attention to your wellness. I know a lot of people start on fitness journeys or they change their diet up. They commit more to their wellness when it comes to January. So this is a perfect month for you guys to do that, to start a fitness project. Maybe you decide you want to go to the gym or regularly do yoga or Pilates or weightlifting or whatever the case may be. And that may be a major focus for you. I'm actually hearing you're going to be feeling good in the month of January, maybe feeling a little bit more energized than usual. So it may be the perfect time for you to take advantage of that. I'm also hearing outdoor recreation. So going on hikes or skiing if you're in a cold area. May be really great for you in the month of January. I feel like getting outdoors is going to be a really important thing for you in this month. And I am seeing some of you taking a trip with friends, maybe like a ski trip with friends or something like that. And kind of like, it's almost like an energy around you of like giving yourself a pat on the back, taking a little bit of a pause to admit like, wow, look how far I've come and look at everything I've done and look at everything I've accomplished. Because I do feel like there may be even a moment of culmination. There may be a success or a recognition you get in the month of January that has been a long time coming. Like I almost feel like you may even hear from, even if it's just one person who reaches out, but they tell you like, hey, by the way, I worked with you 2 years ago. You helped me buy a house or whatever. I don't know why this house moving energy is around you guys so strong, pile two. Or you helped me, buy insurance or whatever. And I just want to let you know, like, I am so happy with the house you found me, or I'm so happy with my insurance plan, and it's really helped. It's really come in handy. You may have someone who randomly reaches out to you to just give you some kudos. And it's funny because I feel like that's an energy, it's something you've wanted for a really long time. Like you wanted that feedback or you wanted that kudos and that like acknowledgement, but you haven't gotten it and it's kind of eluded you. And I feel like you almost gave up or you were just like, oh, whatever, I'll just resign myself to this situation and guess I'm not going to get that. And it's funny, just like everything with spirit, as soon as we stop waiting for it, as soon as we just accept that, yeah, it's not going to happen, that's when it happens. So I feel like that may be something that's really gratifying to you, is getting that kind of, that like little head nod of like, you're doing really good. And, I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is about, again, stepping into an authority position. So you may have people looking up to you. This may be a great month to focus on business, your finances, even like putting together a budget or starting to work on your taxes. Because, March is a couple months away, but it rolls up fast. And of course, I know not everyone files their taxes in March, but in America, at least tax season is in March. But you may be thinking about that, or you may be going over a budget, or you may even, I'm hearing there could be some really good financial news. So you guys may find that you go through your budget and you're like, oh, I actually have some extra money and I could do blah, blah, blah. And you know what? I didn't realize, but I have this source of income, or I had this thing I can cut out of my budget. Oh, that frees up a lot. I feel like there's a very positive development financially. Why did I just butcher that word? I don't know. Financially. And it feels like it feels like a really, positive realization. It's almost like your confidence goes up as you figure out whatever this is financially. You're like, oh my God, I didn't know I could do this. I feel in such a better place. I feel so much more confident in myself, because when we manage to do all these earthly things like manage our finances or make our bed every morning or whatever, a lot of times it bleeds over into our other self-image, right? We become more confident with other things, and I feel like that's what you're able to do as well. So let's get into some more cards. Door to personal healing and happiness, fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel, yin yang, second chakra, Archangel Ariel, victory. Wow, victory is such a positive card for you guys. So yeah, there is this sense of like, I did it, I accomplished it, I made it happen, and a lot of inner pride, I think. You guys are feeling yourselves. You guys have worked hard, you put in the work, and now you're starting to see a little bit of a payoff. And I feel like that is super, super gratifying for you in the month of January. And you may also be, if you do have extra money, taking that money and applying it towards some kind of wellness goal. So deciding to invest in your physical health by maybe eating more healthily, maybe eating more organic foods, or even taking like a cooking class or getting a cookbook about like how to cook organic and healthy, or how to make gluten-free pastries or whatever. Not that those are super healthy, but Um, and you may be like deciding to reinvest in yourself, because I feel like it's almost, I'm getting a message that you may be getting a windfall, and in the past you would have like blown through the windfall, or you would have like, if you got, even if it was a small bonus, and it could be for some of you guys because this is a general reading, of course, take what resonates and leave the rest. But even if you had like slightly more money per month, you would like have blown it, or you would have been like, oh, I'm gonna go shopping and buy some random stuff. And like, it wouldn't have even been a fun, gratifying, like manifestation shopping experience that raises your vibration, because you would have just blown it on like random stuff, and not really made it special. Because I think, if you shop and use it as a manifestation ritual, it can be a very high vibrational experience. If you're like, I need to feel more abundant, going to a really nice mall and like spending time in that ambiance and like, enjoying the whole experience can actually raise your vibration. I do think that. But, there's a difference between that and just going to CVS and finding like a few funny things, like a coffee mug or whatever, and leaving. But when you check out, you realize you spent like $200, So I almost feel like you would have done stuff like that. Like you would have just blown through it and not really paid attention. And I feel like now you're so much more confident in yourself, and you're so much more confident in your money that you're like, I know exactly what to do with this, or I'm just going to keep this money, or I'm going to spend it and I'm going to invest it in this, and I'm going to pamper myself. But either way, it's much more mindful, and you kind of get your head around it better this time. So when you do get the bonus or the promotion or whatever this is, it does feel like whatever it is, you're able to manage it in a way that you weren't before. There also could be an energy of dating, and again, being very popular with the opposite sex. We did get so many of those masculine cards. And so since so many of my viewers are females, I feel like this could be, flirting, dating, being around people who are romantically interested in you, and getting a lot of romantic opportunities. So if that's something you have wanted, if you have been wanting to flirt, wanting to date, wanting to get out and about, just know that a lot of people are going to be noticing you in the month of January. So make sure to dress up, look cute, get out there, post up in the coffee shop or at the bar, flirt with the bartender. Maybe you'll get a free drink at the very minimum. Maybe you'll have someone cute come up to you and try to talk to you. But don't be afraid to get out there, because I think that your confidence is on a new level, Pile 2. Like, I really feel like you need to give yourself kudos, because in the past, if you were like in shrinking violet energy, that's definitely shifting for you. Even if you're not there quite yet, that's the trajectory you're on. Let's get, oh my gosh, I did not see these cards, any of them before I did the reading. So it's funny, after I'm saying that, we get the come together card, which is a love and a romance card. So definitely that energy is around you. And we got peaks of joy as well, two super positive cards. So I am feeling if you do take a trip this month, you may really enjoy who you go with. You may have a lot of fun. Can see people in my mind playing like board games, sitting around playing like Life or Yahtzee or whatever. And just laughing a lot, you know? It feels like if you do get to spend time with friends or family this month, it's a really enjoyable, happy time and you're really making the most of it. And I'm seeing for some people spending time with pets as well. But the social element feels like it's very on point. It feels like if you do spend time with others, you're really enjoying that and making the most out of it in a really deep way. We also got the third chakra archangel Gabriel and second chakra archangel Ariel. So Ariel and the second chakra are kind of like safety chakras and more that sense of like safety that we have in the world. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is about, again, getting that confidence back. The lower chakras are kind of like powerful chakras, power chakras. They're not necessarily those upper level, like crown chakra, third eye chakra, where you're talking about like spiritual stuff. It's more about our feeling of safety on this earth, on this planet. I feel like that's one thing that I love about your energy. You just seem so confident in yourself. And then the third chakra is the throat chakra and how we communicate with the world. So I also feel like there could be an energy of you communicating more, talking more. This could even be like writing a book or creating a YouTube channel where you're talking out loud. Communication can definitely be a theme for you. And even speaking up to like a boss, speaking up to like clients, speaking up to people in general, and just saying how you feel, which is definitely an energy around you. Let's get some astrology dice for pile number 3. So we got Venus, the second house, double Venus, and then Scorpio. Okay, let's get one more so we don't get a double. So we got Uranus. So that is Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus energy coming through, and to a certain extent Libra, since Venus also rules Libra. So let's start out with Scorpio. So Scorpio definitely embodies that powerful kind of Mars Aries energy that we see with the Emperor again. And that energy of really not doubting yourself, really knowing that you are that person and you do have that power, and knowing that people kind of have to come correct and have to approach you the right way. So there may be instances in the month of January where you kind of have to stand up for yourself, advocate for yourself, and I feel like you have gotten better and better at that. I feel like you guys have gotten good at standing up and saying like, oh yeah, sorry, that's not acceptable. Can you do this again? Or, you know, that was wrong. And so if you had a lot of anxiety over things like that in the past, this may be something that spirit is teaching you to move through, because when you're a CEO, you know, or a powerful person in any field, you're going to have to fire people. You're going to have to tell people no. You're going to have to disappoint people. And I feel like you're stepping into that energy of being comfortable with that, being okay with disappointing others, being okay with people not liking you. And I really think this is a very powerful part of your growth. It's a really good thing that you're able to feel this way. It's a really good thing that you're able to stand up, advocate for yourself, ask for what you deserve. That's not a thing that you should feel bad about or guilty about or anything like that. It's a thing that is proof of how far you've come. So it's a really, really good thing. Then we also have Aquarius, and Aquarius is the visionary, the inventor, the genius. It's also the water bearer, and a lot of people rely on Aquarius, even though Aquarius isn't the most warm and fuzzy sign from the outside. People really need Aquarius because Aquarius brings water to the whole village. So they may not be the sign that's going to comfort you and hug you like a Cancer would, but at the same time, they're doing so much for the collective. And it's through stepping into their kind of harsher Saturnian energy, Aquarius being ruled by Saturn and Uranus, of course, that allows them to do that. Because if they were like a warm and fuzzy water sign, like a Cancer, a Pisces, who was like wanting everyone to feel good and hugging everyone, then the first person who came along and said, "Oh, I need more water," they'd be like, "Okay, you can have more water. You know what? I feel bad." And then everyone would not get enough water, and someone would have no water at all because Aquarius felt bad and gave it to some, a bunch of other people. And that's the thing. They need to have a little bit of that cold disposition to see through the BS and to be able to actually do the best thing for the whole collective. And so don't be afraid to step into your strong self-advocating energy or make people think, "Oh, that was kind of harsh," or whatever, because sometimes you need to do that in order to accomplish a goal, in order to help people, in order to do certain things. So I know there's a lot of expectations, especially on women, that we always have to be like so sweet and bubbly and nice to everyone. But I actually think you're stepping into your power and you're like, well, actually, that's not what I want. And I'm going to stand up for myself. So there's a lot of power with that. It's a good thing. And I think you are ascending into this different level for yourself. Then we also have the second house, Taurus. Taurus is the great builder. It's also ruled by Venus, the planet of love. So there's lots of opportunities for love. You're also going to be physically looking really good. Ravishing is what I'm hearing. And the second house is a very charming, or second house Taurus energy is a very charming, attractive energy. They also love to indulge in all things. So like eating, sleeping, anything that's like sensory a Taurus loves. So this may be a great month for you to cook, to it could even be, like I said, learning a new cuisine, learning that you want to eat differently, or just even indulging a little bit more in the month of January. Not for everyone, but I do feel like you're in such a good place that you're kind of able to think about, what do I want to eat? Like, obviously you can do that at any time, but I feel like you're in a place now where you're just much more confident with yourself. You're not as stressed about certain things. So you can kind of like actually indulge, relax, enjoy on a level that maybe you haven't for the rest of the year. So, yeah, I think that's what I have for you. Pile number 2. I really hope it resonates. If it does, let me know down in the comments. I always love hearing from you guys. So give this a like, a thumbs up, and hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see more of my content, head to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about their late night spicy thoughts about you. And before that, all about your spiritual progress. And actually, I just posted one all about, and I'm blanking. Oh yeah, what God wants you to focus on. I just posted that. So there's so many readings to choose from. There's over 70, a lot of readings, and also you get early access and ad-free access to all my YouTube readings. So there's a lot to go through, lots of content over there. If all of that sounds good to you and you want to check it out, go to my Patreon. The link is underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. And if you would like to get a private session with me, get my undivided attention on whatever question you may have, you can go to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So for January, you guys got the Tower, 3 of Swords, 3 of Cups, the High Priestess, and the 5 of Wands. So wow, there's some very powerful cards coming through for you for the month of January. So there's some exciting stuff, and then there's some heavier stuff, as you can probably guess, since we started out with the Tower, the 3 of Swords. So let's cover the heavier stuff first, right? Like the bad news first kind of a thing. So for you guys, there is an energy possibly of a breakup that may have happened already or maybe happening in January. It may also be not even like a full breakup, but maybe even processing someone in your life that may have betrayed you or maybe just didn't reciprocate certain feelings that you had. So if that applies to you, if you have felt like there's someone pulling away or like there's someone that you maybe wanted more from and maybe it's starting to dawn on you that they don't really feel the same way, or there could be like a situationship falling apart, something like that. There's almost like a heavy realization, I feel like, happening as we head into January or at the beginning of the month that may not be the most pleasant, and it may have to do with relationships, especially for some of you guys with the 3 of Cups coming through. It could be realizing that someone that you thought maybe you had a serious thing with and they're actually seeing other people or even cheating on you if this is like a partner. This is not going to apply to everyone. Of course, it's a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest for sure in this case. And we're going to be getting into other subjects for the rest of the month. This is not the only thing we'll talk about, but if that's your situation, just know that it's like this whatever this is, this energy has been going on for a while. I'm not saying that they were talking to other people for a while, but I am saying that whatever's happening with this person that maybe isn't as loyal to you, or situation where maybe you've been feeling tricked or you've been feeling like this person stabbed you in the back in some way, just know that maybe they never cared that much, or maybe they had bad intentions from the jump. And so being at peace with that and understanding that it is happening for your best benefit and that your guides don't want you to waste any time in this situation. So as much as it may be painful to have this realization now, it's better than having it like 5 years from now, right? So that may help you to process whatever this is. I'm feeling for some of you guys, it may not even be romantic. It could be a betrayal from a friend. It could be a feeling of rejection in some kind of a way, feeling like not good enough, or like someone doesn't see you as good enough, that kind of a thing. But with the high priestess, that's your reminder that like this, again, this is for your blessing. And this is a divinely appointed and anointed event and situation. So you're supposed to go through this. You're realizing things that existed there the whole time. And it's a good thing for you to maybe have some distance from this situation, or to go find other things that are going to make you happy. Another interpretation of the Three of Cups could be that in the month of January, you're going to be going out and having fun, enjoying, maybe even partying a little bit. So if that's something you've been thinking about doing or something you've been wanting to do, then take that as your confirmation. So whether you're going out because you're, trying to get over a breakup, or because you're just like, oh, I want to have fun and flirt with friends, there definitely could be that fun, sociable energy happening around you at this time. For others, I do feel like you may be moping in this month. But I do feel like this is also freeing you from a situation that you need to be freed from, and that is like holding you back in a way. And I also feel like Spirit also wants to give you kudos, because in the past, if you had dealt with this situation, you would have really taken it to heart and been maybe like depressed about it, or upset, or felt like it was so unfair, and really been up in your feelings about it. And I feel like this month you're much more at peace. You're much more able to handle it and brush it off in a really beautiful way. And that is progress. So that's a really good thing. And I feel like your guides, angels, ancestors are really, really proud of you. And I also feel like you are standing up for yourself. I'm hearing standing on business. And I feel like you are like not second guessing yourself. In the past, you may have done that. Again, this doesn't have to be romantic. It could be any kind of a heartbreak or ending, but generally speaking, with the Tower and the Three of Swords, it doesn't feel like a super happy ending, or an ending that you're like, oh, thank God. Okay, I'm glad to put an end to this. It can be a disruptive ending. But whatever this is, even if it's just being sad because you had a situationship and y'all finally put an end to things, whatever it is, again, there's that reminder that one, you'll be better off without an energy that doesn't fully like or respect you or whatever. But two, also that you are the high priestess and your intuition is on point. So if you feel like someone doesn't fully respect you, if you have your intuition just niggling away at you, telling you, I don't know if they really are giving it their all, then know that that is true. Listen to your inner voice. And also, I am getting the vibe that for some of you guys, it's not that this person hates you, or it's not that the situation, whatever it is, has a lot of contempt for you, but it's that it maybe needed to come to an end, or it can't exist right now in your current reality. And if that's okay, if that's what it is for now, and it's just a current pause, and that's okay, so we don't need to like be super upset about it. But I actually feel like you're going to grow and learn a lot from the situation, about what you deserve, about what you want to bring in life. I can think of all the heartaches I've had, and not just romantic, but like, work heartache, or heartache with family or friends or whatever. And I always learned so much from them. And I feel like that's the case with everyone, right? When we look back at like our biggest life lessons and the biggest blessing lessons, they usually come as a result of some pain. So think of it as a good thing. Think of it as like you're accelerating your learning because you went through this. You went through like a boot camp, basically, the spiritual equivalent of a boot camp by going through the hardship. So it is a good thing. I know it doesn't feel good always to go through it, but it is a good thing. And I feel like you're going to come out on the other side much more powerful. I'm hearing March, so March may be powerful for you in some way when it comes to transmuting this energy. Let's get into some more cards. So we got boundaries, home, inspiration, and passion. So, you guys may be redoing your home or paying attention to something in your home space. Yeah, like I said, redoing it or even moving or thinking of a move, but I'm feeling like redoing energy around your home specifically, or renovating or that kind of a thing. And I feel like you're really enjoying spending time at home in January. I know, especially for those of you guys who are in a cold place, it may feel really nice to just putter around the kitchen in the winter. I love that. Winter's my favorite season. So you may be really enjoying like being all cozy inside with a cup of tea and like watching some TV shows and stuff. I actually am hearing writing, especially in like a journal, will be really great for you guys in this month of January. So it may help you process your feelings, process your emotions, process everything that's happening for yourself. And you may be getting some beautiful inspirational ideas. If you've been thinking of writing, or you've had a story idea or a book idea, or you've been thinking of starting some kind of a new project, maybe you could jot all these things down. And I'm actually hearing Pinterest for some of you guys. I don't use Pinterest, but I have heard it's great for manifestation or even making like vision boards on Pinterest. And so if you use Pinterest a lot, maybe you could use Pinterest to do something like that, or Pinterest to compile inspiration for some creative project or whatever. I feel like you're going to be very creative in the month of January, and you're really going to be thinking about how can I do this or how can I improve that? Um, and I am hearing that there's someone missing you. So this, I don't know if this is the same person who like, I don't want to say cheated. I don't know who this is. I don't know what this is. Of course, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. But if this is a person and you're like, no, I don't think it's a job ending. I don't think it's a friendship ending. I don't think it's a tough move. I think it's a person. It's my ex. I think I'm going to break up with my boyfriend. Whatever, that person is going to be missing you. They are thinking of you, but I'm hearing not the right time, something like that, not the right timing. So maybe it's not that this person like hates you or, has any bad intentions for you, but maybe there just needs to be a pause in this relationship. And I feel like the good thing about this is you're walking away with your dignity and your head held high. So in the month of January, whatever is ending, it's not going to get the best of you, whether it's a job, whatever it is, relationship, etc. It's not going to get the best of you. You are not going to be looking like a fool coming out of it looking crazy. So if that's been a concern, or you're like, yeah, I feel really dumb in this whole situation and I feel foolish and I look like an idiot, don't worry, you definitely don't. And I feel like this person, maybe it'll take them some time to process. Sometimes people who do reckless things or are hurtful, like they're not processing it. The lights are on, but nobody's home. They're just acting out of a place of being present in the moment. They're not really processing things. And then later they may process like, oh, I kind of messed that up, and have some regret. And you may get a moment of vindication from them in the future where they come back your way. I feel like your job though is to really focus on yourself. And there is a lot of opportunity for fun. We did get the passion card and the Three of Cups. So I could definitely see some of you guys going out socializing, having fun, going out drinking, or spending time with friends. There's a very sociable energy around you. So if you would like to go out and grab drinks one night with some friends, definitely do it. And you may find that you attract a lot of attention. A lot of people out at the bar are like turning to look at you. But there's a social vibe around you, and there's a vibe of, again, catching attention, people noticing you and having fun. And you may be dealing with some heartbreak. I can feel that in your energy fields. There's a sadness around you, pile number 3. But I actually feel like all the things you do to take your mind off it, even though it may feel sometimes like, what's the point? This is pointless. It is paying off. And people can't even tell if you are heartbroken because you're going to look so good that no one's going to even notice. Let's get some more cards for. What did I just say? And I did not look at these cards before I pulled. So we got the beauty card. I'm telling you. You know what? That's actually a part of this same deck as these cards. I don't know why I didn't pull it, but that's so funny. I guess I just overlooked it somehow, but that's really funny because I was just intuitively channeling that. And then we got the beauty card because you guys are looking really beautiful. You are looking really, really good this month. And I think it's because I pulled 4 cards for all the other decks, but you guys got 5. So yeah, you guys are looking really, really good. And I feel like people are noticing. If you're embarrassed or you're wondering like, oh my gosh, people are going to see that I got broken up with, or people are going to think I look like an idiot with everything that went down. No, you still look amazing. People still have a lot of respect for you, and no one is thinking you look like an idiot. More like the opposite. People think you look fantastic and very put together, and they have a lot of respect for you. So let's get into some more cards. So we got Journey, Door to Value, oof, 6th Chakra Archangel Metatron, and you got another extra card. You got more cards than anyone else, okay? So that should be another thing that you feel happy about. Spirit, for some reason, like favored you guys with the cards. So you got Storm Warning, 6th Chakra Archangel Metatron, carrying connections. So there is an energy for attracting new love. So out with the old, in with the new. Don't focus so much on this 3 of Swords, Tower. If you're feeling a sense of loss, don't focus too much about it because there's an opportunity for a lot of new love to come in. And I definitely feel people are noticing you. People are paying attention to you. Also, this is just a part of your journey. I love that we got the Journey card because, I always say this, but it's like, imagine if you were reading a book and the book was just like, one of my little hobbies, I always get such a kick out of reading reviews on Goodreads. I don't know why, they just amuse me so much because I always think it's hilarious when there's like a romance novel or like a dark drama and someone will write a like 1-star review and they'll be like, I don't understand why, the protagonist had to go through that, or I don't understand why a tragic love story had a sad ending. It made me sad. And it's like, yeah, that's the point of the book, like duh. Or I don't understand why it had to be so scary in the book. And it's like, because it's an action thriller. Like, hello, what's going on here with the thought process? But I always think that's funny because it's like, imagine someone literally did write a book to make certain people happy. That's just like, oh, they met, they fell in love, he proposed, they got married, nothing bad ever happens, they have kids, everything's great, everything's awesome. Literally no one would want to read that book ever. Imagine actually like opening a book and that's what happened. You'd probably throw it in the trash within like 10 pages. You'd be like, this is boring and I'm not interested. So think of your life like that sometimes too. We need a little plot twist. We need to keep it interesting. We need to keep it like stuff going on, kind of feisty, something happening. We got to get a plot line for ourselves. So think of it as that. Like, just because maybe this relationship doesn't work out doesn't mean other relationships aren't going to work out and that you're not going to have a beautiful, happy ending. And the fact that you had to go through this one little short period of negativity is just adding to the plot. It's just making it that much better. I mean, who doesn't love those stories? And I'm not saying that's going to happen for y'all if you did have a breakup, but who doesn't love those stories of like high school sweethearts that get together again when they're 60? It's like a way better story than if they'd just gotten married at like 18 or something, and been together and nothing bad ever happened. It's so interesting when you hear a story like that. You're like, oh, that's so cool. So I'm not saying that's going to happen for you guys, but that's my point is like, think of this as just an extra beautiful plot line that you're adding to your little book and it's going to make it exciting and it's a fun little detour. And I feel like you guys do have an exciting life. People are very invigorated, excited by you. They're very intrigued by you, pile number 3. And so just keep that energy up in January because whatever you're dealing with is just one little step along the way, one stepping stone along your path. It's not the whole thing. And we did get the door value. So there could be also a financial windfall happening. I feel like there's going to be people who want to like spoil you, is what I'm hearing. I don't know who that's for or what that means, but I don't know. Someone wants to spoil you or someone wants to like really take you out. There are people who are like entranced by your beauty, is what I'm hearing, pile three. This is an interesting month ahead reading. But they just need me to deliver this message for some reason that you guys are looking extra, extra, extra good. You might have to watch one of my What Makes You Attractive readings and like gas yourself up again because I feel like your guides want you to know this for some reason. They want you to remind yourself like that you're that girl or you're that guy. Like, come on. Why are we feeling down in the dumps when we look this good? Come on. So anyway, we got the sixth chakra, Archangel Metatron, third eye chakra activated. So that is a beautiful energy of being aware of the future, seeing situations as they really are. You may be getting very deep psychic downloads this month. And I'm also hearing some of you guys have acted really well, really nicely. You really have had good karma with all of this. And so keeping in mind the Akashic records are going to keep track of everything. So if you can manage to be respectful, like I always think, when it comes to like someone treating us bad or a breakup or someone disrespecting us or whatever, the key is we want to be in a place of kindness as much as possible and honoring the other person's dignity as much as possible. And if someone doesn't extend that same respect to us, that's on them, and that'll be a mark on them, on their Akashic records. And the best thing we can do is continue to be in our dignity, not saying we tolerate disrespect or we allow really bad behavior, but we stand up for ourselves, but we, respect the dignity of the other person. And I feel like a lot of you guys have done that. So you're going to get good karma with these Akashic records. And so we also got talisman and heal the ouch. So you may be feeling like the need to heal a little this month. You may feel the need to like, I could even see some of you guys kind of like taking it easy, laying around, watching TV, watching movies, and I'm hearing to respect the process, allow this to happen. If you're feeling a little down in the dumps, not saying throw health out the window and like just start, eating whole gallons of ice cream all the time. Not that you guys would do that, but maybe go easy on yourself. Maybe be okay with yourself if you're like, yeah, I just feel super lazy for this week and I just want to like chill. I don't want to work out, or I just want to like relax a little and read and like veg out. Definitely listen to that because I think you're healing a little bit. You're kind of getting your energy back, but I am hearing like part of this is growing pains because you've leveled up. I feel like especially you leveled up and changed dramatically over the past year. So as we enter into January, it's almost like you're in this new energy and you're kind of like not fully adjusted to it, when we're more comfortable with a certain energy or when we have been in that energy for a while, it's kind of easier. And when we're like in a new kind of body, it's kind of like how I always think of how, sometimes like teenage boys, especially, they'll sprout up like 6 inches in a summer or 8 inches, or sometimes they'll be like the shortest kid in their class. And then by the end of like the school year, they're like the tallest kid and they grew up to 6'4". Like sometimes someone will say that, they're like, I'm 6'5", but actually I was the shortest kid in my class until like ninth grade. And then I grew overnight. I grew over the course of a summer, I grew like 10 inches. And you're like, oh my God, that's crazy. Can't even imagine. And, from what I've heard, your body actually hurts. Some of those guys have stretch marks, because your skin is having to stretch. And so you would get stretch marks. You would have, also just like physical pain from it. You would have a feeling of like discomfort as your bones are just like, and you're obviously eating so much. And so sometimes I think when we're going through these growth things, like we can understand that physically, we can see the physical difference between the kid who was like 5'6" and now he's 6'3", but we can't sometimes see the spiritual growth we're going through. And so we will understand when that kid is acting weird or they're grumpy that summer or they're eating everything in sight in the kitchen and they're just ravenous. And we're like, oh yeah, he's growing. He's been growing. Like he grew 2 months in the past 3 weeks or 2 inches in the past 3 weeks. It's crazy. But we don't necessarily see that growth in ourselves. It's not as visible because it's more spiritual. It's less in the physical dimension, but it's still happening. So just like you would be patient with like a teenage boy who's growing all the time and he needs extra sleep and he needs extra food, be grateful or gentle with yourself at this time too. Let's get some astrology dice for pile number 3. We got the moon. We got Scorpio, double Scorpio energy. Wow. Let's see if we want any other signs or spirits set on Scorpio. Double Cancer. I love when spirits like, girl, I already told you what it was. Let me get it one more time and see if we get anything else. Capricorn. Okay, perfect. So we have Capricorn, Scorpio, and Cancer. Emphasis on the Scorpio and the Cancer, okay? Because Spirit really wanted to emphasize those ones. So we got, let's start quickly with Capricorn since that's the least one we got, but that makes perfect sense because it's ruled by Saturn. Capricorn is all about that growth, and sometimes it's not the most pleasant growth. Saturn, everyone's so terrified of Saturn, but Saturn can actually confer great benefits and huge blessings if you're just willing to go through the hard times and willing to face the tough energy of Saturn and willing to learn those lessons and lean into it and accept it. Then Capricorn Saturn energy will bless you big time. And so again, that reminder that blessings are on the other side. 8th house energy, Scorpio energy. Spirit really wants to emphasize this. And Scorpio, 8th house energy, Pluto energy, it's all about transformation. It's all about really going to the depths to experience the greatest emotions. And that's why Scorpio literally rules like plumbing, waste. And this is also showing the power of getting rid of the old. So sometimes we can feel really tied to someone. We can feel really tied to like an ex, a twin flame, but sometimes we got to get rid of it because it's holding us back from the future, and it's holding us back from the very things we want to bring in, the connections, the energy. So maybe for some of you guys, this is about giving up like an ex or feeling connected to someone from your past and really kind of reconciling with the idea that like, yeah, maybe I'm not going to get back together with them and maybe I just need to leave it in the past. I can't speak for everyone. Take it how it resonates and leave the rest. Take it how it resonates for you. But with the 8th house, it is also being willing to face those hard questions. Pluto really loves getting down to the truth. They don't like the BS. They don't like the rose-colored glasses. They're very similar to Pisces in many ways, but that's one thing they majorly differ in. Pisces loves to be optimistic, and the 8th house Scorpio loves to like be as blunt and straight up as possible. So that is really, there's a very powerful energy when you're willing to look at a situation and call a spade and admit to what it is and not sugarcoat. Then that's when really amazing blessings can happen and you're able to transform and you're able to step into your highest possibilities. Then we also have the moon. So the moon is, there are 2 very psychic signs. You got Scorpio and the moon emphasized, and those are both very psychic, deep, intuitive signs. So I also feel like you guys are really on point spiritually speaking. You're getting a lot of downloads this month. You're going to be super intuitive this month. A lot of you guys are going to be getting some really great insights for what you should do for the future, what you should do in your life. And so pay attention to all the downloads, all the dreams, all the psychic visions that you get during this month of January. So I think that is what I have for you guys. Pile number 3. I really hope it resonates. If it does, let me know down in the comments, and make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit the like button as well. And if you want to see more of my content, head on over to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about what God wants you to focus on. And before that, a little spicy 18 plus what you need, or what they're thinking of you late at night, their late night thoughts of you reading, and before that, all about your spiritual progress. So there's lots of readings to choose from, over 70 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So double whammy of content over there. If that's something you're interested in, then go to my Patreon. The link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description, and I would love to see you there. And if you would like to get a private one-on-one session with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll see you guys again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile number 4, welcome to your reading. So for your tarot cards, you guys got Judgment, 7 of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the World, and the Two of Pentacles. So there's a lot happening for you in the month of January. And let's talk first about the Ace of Cups because that's exciting. It could be a really beautiful new idea. You guys also could be having a new relationship come in, but there's something new in the energetic worlds of cups. So that has to do with feelings, emotions, also like creative ideas, spiritual ideas coming in for you. So you may have a vision that I should write this whole book and get the full download. I always think the Ace of Cups is like that moment that J.K. Rowling described where she said the whole idea of Harry Potter came to her one day. She scribbled the beginnings of it down on a cocktail napkin, but they're long, really long series of books, right? And the whole idea just entered her mind at once. And that's kind of like an Ace of Cups moment of like, oh my gosh, I just have this creative thought coming to me. It also can be a beautiful new relationship. If you are in a relationship, it could even be pregnancy coming through. And when it is an Ace of Cups relationship, it's often one where you can feel really close to that other person. You feel like they really understand you. You feel like you have a deep emotional or sometimes spiritual connection with them. And it also can be like a spiritual download. It can be an idea of like, you know what, I should do this with my meditations, or I have this idea for some kind of a spiritual project. So spiritual ideas, spiritual downloads are definitely also represented by the Ace of Cups. That may be another thing coming your way in the month of January. We also got the Judgment card, and that can talk about a rebirth, being reborn, getting rid of the old and stepping into the new. And I am feeling like that's something that wants to come in January, is like a new identity somehow. So maybe like you're shaking off the old version of yourself somehow. It could be that like you decide to raise your rates. For some of you guys, that's what I'm hearing. Maybe with clients, you decide that you want to charge a little bit more, or you're doing something different with your process for your work, or you decide that you want to get a new car or something like that. Like I feel like this is like a pivotal, kind of like something that you wanted to do for a while and you're finally giving yourself permission. You finally kind of feel like it's time. So there's going to be some kind of a pivoting, a new journey when it comes to something in your life that, again, you've wanted, you're ready for this, and it's almost like stepping into a new identity, because that's kind of what raising your rate signifies, right? Like when you're like feeling like, yeah, you know what, it's time for me to charge more, and you're coming from a genuine place with that, and you've really given it thought, then that means like you respect your work that much, or when you're like, you know what, I'm ready to invest in that new car and I don't care about the car payment. I can handle that. You're making a commitment to yourself and to like your own faith in your earning potential, So I feel like there's something about that, about you deciding to step towards something and kind of like having faith in your own progress and having a self-trust. And we can see with the Seven of Pentacles that a lot of the work that you're doing is paying off. People are seeing it. People are recognizing it. People are, this may also be a month of like slow and steady with that, because with the Seven of Pentacles, it's often like continuing work, continuing to work, and seeing some of the harvest of that, but not the full blossoming that we might get with like the Ten of Pentacles. So it's making progress. It's continuing on. It's making little tweaks and improvements and being like, I could probably fix this, or I could, adjust this slightly. And you may be doing some kind of like insight into your work, how you can improve it, or even around your home or your house, being like, I could really change these curtains out for this color. But I feel like you're really taking a hard look at things and you're continuing on your path. So this may be a month that's just one of those months where it's a regular working month and you're getting stuff done, you're moving forward, all that jazz. But we do have the World coming through, and the World is a really positive card of celebration and of achievement and of milestones. So you may have some kind of a big event, some kind of a big threshold that you're crossing. I'm seeing someone crossing some kind of a finish line. That may be happening for you. There may feel like I'm almost feeling like this milestone, it may even sneak up on you. Like it may be something that happens just out of the blue where maybe you didn't pay attention. Like maybe you were wanting to earn a certain amount and you didn't notice you did. And then you finally go back in January and you're like, oh, let me see how much I earned in 2023. Oh my God, I totally met that. I totally met my goal. Wow. Or, maybe there's something like that. You're like trying to get, I don't know, your time down for like the mile you run. Like you've been wanting to beat like an 8-minute mile or something, and then you realize you've done it and you have averaged less than 8 minutes per mile, and you're just so proud of yourself and you didn't even notice you were doing it. It just was something that just happened. So I do feel like there's some achievement, there's some event. You also may go out dancing. The world card shows a dancer on it, and I am getting a vibe for dancing for some of you guys. So if you are wanting, or your friend invites you to go out to like a club and dance a little bit, I would definitely say yes, go for it, do it. And you may be looking really good, so maybe dress up a little and show yourself off during this month of January. We also got the Two of Pentacles, so you may be weighing a decision. And the Two of Pentacles can also talk about balance, needing to balance things in your life, needing to find a calmer, like in between energy. The Two of Pentacles generally isn't too far in one direction or another. It is about finding a way to balance. So it can be deciding that, you know what, I'm not going to put as much energy into work, or if I've been working late all the time, I'm going to make sure I get home from the office at this time. Or it can be like, I've been putting too much energy into relaxing and into fun, and I'm going to make sure I manage myself at work. But the Two of Pentacles could also be a big decision. So it could be weighing some kind of a decision. I almost feel like you're going to have more decisions on your plate in general in the month of January as you step up into a more important role of some kind. But I'm also hearing that feels good to you. Like you like making this decision, whatever it is. It's nice for you to be able to kind of have this on your plate. And it's nice because you're at the place now where you're able to handle it in a way that in the past, I don't think you would have been able to. I think in the past, maybe this would have like really flummoxed you and you would have been like, oh, like I can't decide. This is so much stress. This is so stressful. And now you're like, yeah, I got this. I will weigh my options and figure it out. Let me get into some more cards for pile number 4 for the month of January. So we got truth, healing, prosperity, and peace. Beautiful. So there's a lot of positivity happening. I also feel like with truth, it's somehow about speaking your truth, speaking up for yourself. There's some energy there about saying how you really feel, giving your opinion, not holding it back at all. And with the peace card, I feel like you're okay with that in a way that maybe you wouldn't have been in the past. Maybe it would have like stressed you out to speak up somehow, and now you feel really comfortable with that. And we got the prosperity card. I mean, there is a celebration about whatever is happening financially. There is a sense that you're in a good place financially in the month of January, or you're making strides, or you are changing something up with that. And again, with the Two of Pentacles, it could be making a decision about that, weighing your options and deciding that, like I said, you want to raise your rates, or you can cut down on certain expenses or something. But I do feel like you're kind of like checking this over and making your mind up, and making an executive choice that in the past, I think you may not have felt as comfortable, like being like, yep, we're raising the rates. That's it. We're doing it. And now you have that confidence and you're able to just be like, yeah, it's my decision and I stand by it. And that's that. So it's almost like the confidence and self-respect you have projects out towards others as well. With healing, I am feeling like some of you guys may take a course that's especially related to like spiritual healing. Some of you guys may decide to go back and do like Reiki healing, or do a Reiki healing course, or get your yoga certification, or have some kind of a healing modality, learning some kind of a healing modality, maybe learning about like herbs or essential oils and correspondences of those. But I feel like you are really working towards healing, and also just becoming an expert, becoming knowledgeable in that, because that's really what a healer has to be, right? Like think of like a doctor or even a shaman back in the day. You have to get familiar with a long list of ailments and maladies and associations. And a lot of it is just that technical knowledge. That's why Virgo is the healer, and Virgo is very technical. It's not just vibes. When you're talking about Virgo energy, it's very like detail oriented and very like memory and words and numbers. You know what I mean? It's not kind of a Pisces vibey energy. It's more like, did you read the actual book? And so I feel like you are educating yourself some way. I'm also feeling like reading or writing might be a major theme for you in the month of January. Some of you guys are going to get really wrapped up in a beautiful book. Like, I'm so jealous. I haven't had a book just like, I think I had a book like a couple weeks ago, but it seems like forever. Whenever you finish a book that you're just like so wrapped up in, you always want another one, and they're so rare to come in where you're just like entranced, you know? So I'm kind of missing that. And you guys may be having one of those really special rare books that just sweeps you away to a new world in the month of January, or you may feel really called to write. I'm also feeling like some of you guys may take a trip, travel, which we could definitely see with the World card as well, and to a certain extent, the Two of Pentacles. So if you are feeling like traveling, I almost feel like you're getting out of your comfort zone. And I feel like there's actually a lot of potential for some of you guys in this place, even if you're just like going here on vacation. It may be a place that in the future you're like, you know, when I took that trip to blah, 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 I think I want to move there. So I'm not saying you're going to move to this place, but I feel like it's almost like a really nice trip and you learn something from it. You take away something from it. You know, that's why Sagittarius rules over travel, and it's also Jupiter. It's a very spiritual energy and a very wise energy because we get so much wisdom and knowledge from traveling, and the education house is the same house as the travel house. So yeah, I feel like you guys are, you know, whatever happens on this trip, it's like you're getting downloads and you're really learning. Um, and this may even be a place that you decide you want to move to in the future somehow. You may visit it not knowing that, not with that intention, but it may be something where, you know, 6 months from now, you're like, I want to move. And you know, when I visited those mountains in Colorado, yeah, I'd love to actually live there. You know, let me move there. So yeah, you're gaining a lot from this trip. I don't know why my speech is so off today. You're gaining a lot from this trip and you're learning a lot from this trip. And if you do have some extra income, that may really help you. Again, raising your costs or increasing your salary in some way may allow you to really relax and enjoy on this trip. I am hearing for some of you guys, you also may be booking like a spa treatment or some kind of relaxation that can go along with that healing energy. Like, I feel like you're really looking after yourself and you have a real emphasis on like kind of like peacefulness this month and like doing things that regenerate your energy, not take away from your energy, doing things that allow you to fully relax and take a load off, pause, you know, you are kind of prioritizing that and willing to pay to find a healer. Some of you guys may even be seeking out spiritual services like a psychic, a tarot reader, a Reiki healer, anyone with expertise in that field. You know, you can always book for me at my website, ryarosetarot.com, but you can also go to other psychics. I won't be offended. But I feel like for some of you guys, you might choose to invest in a, you know, tarot session or a mediumship session with someone or tea leaf reading or anything like that, Reiki healing, whatever, and kind of dive deep this month because it does feel like there's a moment of pause. We did get the peace card. I just noticed that as I'm just saying you're going to find peace this month. But I think that, you know, this is like a little bit of a pause month, which I love. To me, that's the energy of January so much. And I love that feeling of winter, probably because I'm such a winter baby and I have so many placements in winter. I just love it. It's my favorite month. I love the pause feeling. I love the feeling of like the world kind of stopping because it's so peaceful. And so it's a perfect time, in my opinion, to do spiritual work, to relax a little bit, to kind of like pull back from the world and go into like hibernation, like truth mode, you know? And so, yeah, even if it's not a specific spiritual service, like actual psychic or tarot reader, maybe it could be getting a massage, but you're really relaxing and you're feeling like you're kind of like transcending something during the massage or a facial, and you kind of fall asleep and relax into it. There's something about that that's, I think you're investing in this month. That's really beautiful. Could even be taking a walk around like in your area. I know that's super general, but they're showing me like cities at in the middle of winter, like DC, Boston, Philly, New York, when it's like winter and it's so empty. I love that. It's my favorite time. I just love winter in general, but I love how quiet cities become when it's like really cold. So you may be taking a walk around in nature. Of course, you may not live in a winter, cold place, but I'm feeling a vibe of kind of like pulling away from the world, coming into yourself a little bit more. Okay, let's get some more cards. Okay, I haven't seen these. Cornucopia, second chakra, Archangel Ariel. Third chakra, Archangel Chamuel, appreciation, and the world. Wow, you guys got the world twice. That's crazy. So the world definitely can talk about travel. It can talk about completion, moments of completion and celebration. But I definitely feel that travel vibe, even if you're not actually traveling and like traveling around the world or something like that. Maybe it's just traveling on a road trip locally, or like I said, walking around your city, when no one else is around, and exploring a little bit. And I don't know, I love to walk around, especially in winter, but anytime, and just listen to music and just like trance out. And just, especially in cities, it's nice because like you're totally anonymous, but you feel kind of safe because there's other people around. So you can like, it's not the same as walking through like the middle of the woods alone where you'd be like on edge the whole time and like clutching your pepper spray. At least that's what I do. In the city, there's people around. So if something happened, you could like, anyway, that's how I think about it. So maybe going for walks and maybe just like listening to a really good podcast or an audiobook, or just spending time alone listening to music, and kind of like trancing out. I feel like this would be a really great month for that. Anything you can do to find peace, pause, relaxation. That's kind of the energy of the world, I think. It's like just how even movement can like teach us things and help us learn things, help us to access spiritual knowledge, because the world's, Jupiter, Sagittarius energy, um, which is travel energy, is very spiritual. So I feel like for you guys, this is about a kind of moment of pause, moment of coming into yourself, moment of learning, moment of education. And we also got the second chakra, Archangel Ariel. And Ariel is very connected to like animals, very connected to nature preservation, that kind of a thing. So you guys may feel the need to spend time in nature, especially I feel if it's, a pause in nature, especially if it's a quiet side of nature, not necessarily like being surrounded by tons of people and tons of noise, but more like those quiet moments where you're alone a little bit. I feel like that's something that's a big theme for you. If you can do that in the month of January, I feel like it would be really good for you. And again, I'm getting a very creative vibe. I'm getting that some of you guys are going to be painting this month. Some of you guys are going to be writing, maybe poetry or even songs, or just straight up writing books or in a journal or whatever, cooking. All these kind of meditative, quiet processes are going to be important for you, and taking spiritual baths, I'm hearing as well. We did get cornucopia. So again, that's another card of success and financial abundance. I feel like you're moving forward and progressing things. To me, it doesn't feel necessarily like it's that moment of like, oh my God, I just got the biggest raise ever, or I reached the milestone. Woohoo. I feel like there may be smaller milestones, or like I said, raising your prices or getting an increase in salary, but it kind of feels like par for the course. It doesn't feel necessarily like it's like, oh my God, this crazy moment I didn't, wow. Like it feels more like, yep, okay, I got a little bit of a bonus. So I don't feel like it's like crazy, amazing month financially, but it also feels like a good month financially. It feels like things are progressing, things are moving along, and you're doing well and you're happy with your progress. Let's get into some cards, more cards. So we got Magical Shapeshifter and Sad Embrace. Sad Embrace reminds me of a gargoyle, which reminds me of like Western Europe, where gargoyles are from. And I love the vibe of like Northwest Europe in winter. because they get such an intense winter and it's so pretty and it's so like cold and barren. And I just love that. I know it's like everyone else hates that time of year, but I have all winter placements. I just love winter. And so it's giving me that vibe of like Vienna in winter, or Paris in winter. Kind of like the grayness of it and the beauty of that, the like low light, and how even though maybe it's less fun than like springtime in Paris or summer in Paris, there's actually almost more beauty. There's like an austerity to it. So I feel like that's the vibe with you, is like kind of pausing, relaxing, going into yourself, not being super social this month, spending more time on a creative project, spending more time thinking of your long-term goals, spending more time looking after your emotional self and maybe nourishing yourself. I could even see you guys shopping or picking out like some new clothes, but it feels like there's a lot of self-care happening this month. It feels like you're really looking after your peace, taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself. And yeah, I feel like it's a really nice, it's a nice feeling. I love this time of year, and this pile is reminding me why I love it so much. I love this energy for January. I'm kind of jealous. Okay, let's get some astrology dice. Okay, so we got Aries, the Sun, which is Leo, and then the fourth house, Cancer. But I didn't even talk about Magical Map Shifter. Again, to me, it's giving travel vibes, and it's giving, also asking yourself certain questions with your life, like where you want to go next, what you want to do, your long-term trajectory, questions about your clients, questions about, the path you've been on with your career, and really kind of asking yourself, do I like where I'm at? Maybe doing some meditations into that, maybe journaling about it, thinking about it. And that's what I love about these kind of moments where we pull back from life. We're not just in the thick of it, is we kind of have a moment to pause and actually process and kind of check. It's like looking down at the map and saying like, oh, am I in the right place, or did I go off course, or where am I on this journey towards whatever I want to accomplish? So that's why I love a moment to pause. So let's talk about your astro dice. So we got some fire energy. We got Aries, we got the sun. Again, I feel like with Leo, the sun energy, you're doing really well. People are noticing it. Things are going really good for you financially when it comes to your career and with your reputation as well. A lot of people are noticing that you seem to be doing really, really good, and that you seem to be attracting more clients, and you just know what you're doing. I feel like you have a level of mastery in this month of January. We also have Aries. Aries is the sign of the self, the first house. And I love Aries energy because I think there's a real rawness, truth, and honesty to Aries, and a selfishness that I actually really respect, because you just know that they're not going to BS you. Like, a lot of people will BS you, but an Aries is going to give it to you straight, and they're gonna advocate for what they want for them. They're not gonna go along with it because, like, yeah, I love this song, even though they hate it. They're going to be like, I hate this song, change the channel, And so, if they're being nice to you, they really like you. They really do enjoy whatever's going on. And I feel like for you, you are going to be questioning for yourself. This is kind of about an inner sense of looking after yourself, prioritizing yourself, doing self-care, raising your prices, changing how you talk to your boss or to clients or to whatever, and really advocating for yourself and kind of being willing to like step into that role, step into that power, is what I feel is happening for you. And the fourth house of home. And like I said, you may be really feeling like a homebody this month if you're not traveling or going out to like a spa. I feel like you're going to just enjoy puttering around, cooking for yourself, relaxing, maybe redoing a kitchen or your living room or whatever, reading, curling up on the couch, maybe with a fire and like a cup of something hot. But it feels like a cozy, relaxed, easy vibe, chill vibe, which is very Cancerian, very fourth house. And also fourth house, and all of the signs actually we got, Leo especially, Cancer as well, and Aries as well, can be very creative. So I feel like, if you feel the urge to create something, if you feel the urge to write, if you feel like you're getting downloads when it comes to poetry or when it comes to songwriting or writing or painting or cooking or whatever, definitely pay attention to it this month because you're going to be very receptive for that. So I think that is what I have for you, pile number 4. Thanks for watching, guys. Now, if you liked this reading, I would love to know. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of it. Also, give it a like, thumbs up, hit the subscribe button as well. And if you want to see more of my content, head on over to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about what God wants you to focus on. And before that, I posted an 18 plus, what are their late night thoughts about you reading? And before that, where are you with your spiritual progress? So there's over 70 extended exclusive readings over on Patreon. There's so much to choose from. And there are also I post the early YouTube videos there first, early and ad-free. So there's double whammy of content, right? And new readings go up all the time. And there's lots of stuff you can only find over on Patreon. So if that sounds good to you and you want to check that out, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. And I would love to see you there. And if you would like to get a private session with me, have me channel whatever you want for you, then you can go to my website, briarrosetarot.com, to book a time slot with me. So thanks for watching, and the link for that is in my description, by the way. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye.